It is exactly 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. We are now going to talk with Imraan Choonara. He is the CEO of Africa Muslim Agencies, but he is also a personal excellence mentor. And what better time to be talking about mentorship and to work on being the best version of yourself. He's here to talk to us about setting and sticking to your New Year's resolutions. Salamu alaikum, welcome to the program, Imraan Choonara. And all I can say is, wow, on you not being only the CEO of AMA, but also a personal excellence mentor. What an achievement, and what a way to keep just keeping motivation levels high in terms of
Right.
your own life and the people around you. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, Julie. And of course, thanks for having me on Salam Media. And of course, welcome to the listeners of Salam Media as well. Always great to be with you guys. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a great time of the year to be talking about this topic.
And no wonder whenever I talk to you, you always sound so positive. And you have this can do attitude all the time, which is amazing. So, just before you talk to us about what are the possibly 5 mainstays in staying positive, sticking to your New Year's resolutions, possibly reinventing yourself, how you can be a better version of yourself, let me just very quickly ask you, why did you go down this path?
Well, frankly, I think, Julie, I mean, we live in a world that's, it's never been something that I particularly chose necessarily. It was a calling for me. It was something that I'm passionate about. And just growing up as a youngster, I mean, always I was around people, including my dad, for example, was always a can-do kind of person. Always, wanting to try something new, wanting to develop, wanting to grow, wanting to develop himself, and the people I was associated with. And that's why one of the biggest things that I tell people all the time is be careful who you associate with, because the people you hang around with, you will become like them. So just by default, I was in a family that was always thinking positively and thinking about the future. And my father exposed me to people locally and globally who had a can-do attitude, and and that's why I developed that, I suppose. So again, it's the power of association. Who you associate with will make you who you are.
Alhamdulillah, and that is why you are the CEO of AMA. Alhamdulillah for that. So let's talk about setting and sticking to your New Year's resolutions. Every time this year, we all have a long list of what we want to achieve and what we want to better in our lives. And 2, 3 months down the line, it all goes out the window.
But I think, Julie, I mean, first of all, remember, it's that we don't need a new year to set a goal. You can set a
True.
goal at any time. Now, yes, of course, we sometimes need a new beginning. So we say, okay, Monday morning, or we say the first of the month, or the first of the year, or whatever, and or my birthday, for example. So we use these milestones in life to make a decision. Now, it's okay to do that. I'm not saying it's wrong to do that, because sometimes we as human beings, we need something to motivate us to say, okay, from my birthday, I'll do this or whatever. Okay, no worries. But I want to remind every single one of us that just because the date changed from 31st of December to the 1st of January does not mean that your life will change. Your life does not change because the date changed. The date changed because the date changed. The time carries on. It does what it does. Your life will only change if you decide to do something differently. Now, there are people who say, nah, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I don't believe in goals or whatever. I don't write anything down. Okay, that sounds very macho, but it's very stupid. And I say that quite frankly because I'm not saying that you must have a New Year's resolution. I'm saying you must have a goal in life. So whether
Mm.
you call it a resolution, whether you call it a dream, whether you call it a goal, don't be that person that says, oh yeah, I don't write things, I don't believe in this stuff. Okay, every human being on this planet, the only way you move forward is by having a goal. And by the way, even if you don't have a goal, by default, you will go in the direction that you are currently going anyway. So by default, you have a goal, but you just flop around basically. So my suggestion is this. Number one, make a decision, write some things down. Now, first of all, when you write things down, don't just, when you set a goal, most people don't like setting goals because they don't know how to set a goal. You see, a goal is not just something that you write down that you want, and then the universe is going to bring it to you. No, life doesn't work that way. So, of course, you must write things down. But you don't just write it down on a piece of paper, put up a vision board in your room like we all do, which you should do, by the way. But put it up And then people carry on their lives as per normal. So they write down a goal of losing weight. Let's put a simple goal. Okay, losing weight or get fitter or whatever. Everybody tries to do that at some point in their lives. So they write that down. They put these pictures up of this amazing person they're going to look like or whatever. But then the next meal they have is the same stuff they used to have when they were just picking up weight. So
Mm.
just putting it up on a vision board and writing it down does not do anything. That's a wish. That's not a dream. That's not a goal. Now, the reason people give up on resolutions or writing down goals is because they've done it so many times in the past, but they did not know how to set a goal. They did not know how to put action to the goal, which means they did not achieve it. So by default, over time, they taught themselves not to trust themselves. This is a very
Sure.
profound statement. Is I want you
Yes.
to understand this, and if you're listening to this as a listener right now, please understand this. The more you write stuff down, and the more you do not act on it by your own laziness or whatever the case is, or lack of action, you don't reach that goal. The more you do that over and over and over again, you teach yourself that you cannot trust yourself. And that's
Okay, so
dangerous.
Imran, let me ask you this question then. You're saying having a vision board or goals may not necessarily make you achieve what you want to achieve. What is the trick or the magic in writing it down? And what do you do after you've written it down? There has to
So,
be something to
absolutely.
do to motivate you to want to do it.
Absolutely. So first of all, you must write it down. There's power in writing goals down. There's power in it. And I would suggest, with all the technology, we have iPads and phones and all these things, we tend to put our stuff on our tablets. We put our stuff on our computer screens. There's magic in writing it down with your own hand, with your own handwriting, because when you write something down, the energy that flows through your hand to your brain and back and forth when you're writing it down, you are committing something to paper that you from your brain have decided to do or from your heart have decided to do. Then go through the exercise of cutting out pictures and putting up a vision board. That's really impressive and important. Don't just go to a computer screen and print it out and stick it on the wall. Go and try to cut it out and look for it. Think about it carefully and then draw it if you have to, if you can draw it. But then once that's done, don't leave it at that. Now, decide on action that you're going to do. So, for example, if I want to lose weight or whatever, okay, so I need to train a certain number of minutes per day, or I need to do this, or I need to change my eating habits, or I need to, or my business or my relationships, whatever the case is. Now, Julie, you asked me what's the secret. The secret is this. People have busy lives already. Now they set this goal and they carry on their life exactly as per normal, and they try to throw this goal on top of a busy life. You cannot do that. A new goal requires space. You have to make space in your life for this goal. So, for example,
Okay.
if you want to read more because you want to educate yourself more, okay, you might have to allocate an hour a day, which maybe you don't have currently because you're so busy. So something has to give. Maybe you want to exercise for an hour a day. Maybe you want to spend more time with your children for an hour a day. Something's going to have to give because your life is already full. So make space for your action. Too many people don't make space for the action, which means they try for a week. After 1 week, they're so burnt out because they did not make space for this new action. And so then they give up and go back to what was their comfort zone, what they knew before.
Right. Okay. What else do we need to be aware of so that we don't trip up and throw it out the window? So two,
Okay,
3 months
so
down the line, you kind of say, no,
100%.
it's never going to work. I
That's a
know you're
really
going to
good,
say a positive mindset is
well,
very
absolutely,
important
that's
here as
true.
well.
However, here's the thing. Remember, so number one, write a goal down. Of course, it's important. Don't listen to those people who tell you, no, you don't have to write stuff down. No, it's important. So I want to emphasize that. And your goal must be connected to your journey of life. Your goal is not, because let's be honest, if you weigh 100 kilos right now and you want to weigh 60 kilos by the end of this year, it's not just realistic for you to say, I'm going to weigh 60 kilos and that's it, because your brain does not believe it. So decide, my journey is I'm adopting a healthy lifestyle. So your journey is towards a healthy lifestyle. Your goal might be to lose 5 kilos at a time or 10 kilos at a time on your way to a healthy lifestyle. So it's connected to your journey. Same with your financial. You might be heavily in debt. You might say by the end of this year, I want to be debt free. Well, it depends. It might not be a realistic goal because maybe you're so heavily in debt. Maybe your journey needs to, I want to be more financially savvy. I want to be more financially intelligent. Okay, this year I'm going to get rid of 100,000 rand of debt. I'm going to get rid of whatever the case is. Now, We then talked about putting action to it, right? So, for example, in the financial example, you say, okay, well, I'm going to get out of debt. I'm going to manage my money differently, whatever. That first week, when you feel like going out for takeouts, when you feel like doing something, think, I have to stop. I have to change my habits. I have to change my action. And it becomes difficult. Now, you ask me, what's the final thing? Yes, a positive mindset. However, the thing that trips us up the most, is that every goal that's worthwhile achieving, whether it's relationships, whether it's fitness, whether it's money, whether it's whatever, every goal that's worthwhile achieving at some point will become difficult, will become challenging because it's new. It's going to be difficult. It's not all downhill and smooth sailing. It's uphill sometimes. Now, when it gets challenging 2-3 months down the line, like you say, or even sometimes a week or two down the line, the thing we do as human beings is we like the path of least resistance. We are like water. When water flows, it flows on the path of least resistance. Human beings are the same. We don't like resistance. So we take the path of least. So what we do is when we start getting challenging, we start looking around. We start comparing our lives to other people. It's called shiny object syndrome. We look around something else. Oh, look at what that person is doing. You forget that person's on their own journey. When you look at another human being, in comparison game kills most people's goals and dreams. And I promise you, we all suffer from this in some way, especially with social media, the comparison game. When you see someone else achieving something or doing something, remember you are seeing a snippet of their life. You are seeing a moment in time. You don't know what happened yesterday. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So it's silly, it's insane to make a comparison by a snippet of their life because you don't know what happened in the past and you don't know what's going to happen in the future. And that comparison will cause you to stop because you think maybe your goal is the wrong goal because it became tough, it became challenging. So maybe I should stop. And then you jump ship, so to speak, and then you go and do something else because it looks like that person's getting better results. But you don't know what they've been through already. So you don't jump onto that track. Now you start running their race, so to speak. You're no longer following your goal. But you know what? That track will also get challenging. Every track has its own challenges. So do not compare. And if I can encourage you, if you're not the kind of person that has set goals before, if you're not the kind of person that really feels that, committed that you can do this, then don't set 5 goals. Don't set 10 goals. Set one goal. Just one. And commit to one. You know why, Julie? Because the same way the success is a habit, failure is also a habit. If you set one goal and you commit to one goal, and find someone who can show you the action required for that one goal and decide I'm not going to compare myself to anybody for this year. I'm just going to focus on that one goal. And you just do that. The more you succeed at that goal, you will get into the habit of feeling what success feels like. Because the more you fail at things, you get into the habit of knowing what failure feels like and it becomes comfortable. And that's dangerous. So be careful of that comparison game.
Imraan, we have to leave it there. It's been absolutely fascinating. I'm definitely going to get you back on the show. We need to talk more on this issue. And I hope and pray, inshallah, lots more younger people tune in so that they understand. I liked the opening of the discussion where you talked about association. Associate with the right people and you can become a success. So I do want to talk with you more in depth on this issue, if you don't mind, at a later stage.
Absolutely.
Shukran
Fantastic,
so
Julie.
very much.
Great to be on your show and have an amazing time. And thanks to everything that Salam Media does and that you do as well for the communities. You bring incredible value. Thank you so much.
Alhamdulillah, and you, let me return the compliment as well, and you and AMA as well. Salaam alaikum to you. 9:35 exactly, news and views right here on Salam Media. In a minute or two, we'll be joined by Rihana Musaji to talk about her late grandmother who died at the age of 100 years. So do stay with us.